What up, nerds? I know you wanted the draft grades. Here they come. It took me a while. Little man was sick, but I had them. I've been working on them. So we're going to jump right into it. You know what this is. Feet Seeking Missiles. Inaugural video of the 2019-2020 season. It's been a long run, guys. Glad that you're still here. Most of you guys, everyone from last year stayed, so that's always a good sign. We're going to go over a couple things besides drafts. We're going to cover this try and do first. So first is dues. So who has already paid me? Geoff, Luke, Shay, Mike, Bobby, Tony, Sam, thank you. I still need dues from BB, Chris, Manny, Scotty, basically everyone who wasn't here. So you can Venmo me at Jake Tress 1, I think. I'll look it up and I'll just put it on the message board. But Venmo, or if you got Zeal, or what's the other one? PayPal. I got all three. So send me the cash. Payouts will be the same as last year. I don't think anyone had any issue with it. We'll keep that the same. Scoring, I did up everything, like Scotty suggested, and I made the amendment that Chris asked about. So there's 1 point now for a 50-yard touchdown with receivers and running backs. 2 points for 100, 3 points for, I think, 200. So there's extra scoring. Basically, you just get more scoring. I look to have some bigger games. So hopefully that doesn't affect too much the way people draft it. So there's the scoring. There's the dues. Can't think of anything else to cover other than the draft grades. What's going on? Where's Mama? Come on, come tell him. All right, come on. Ivy's gonna help me with the draft grades. All right. So first of all, Mr. Luke McDanger. Luke, you are a wild card, like you say. You go for it. You go big or go home. So, like I think everyone thinks, we have some concerns with your team. First of all, with the injury concerns, the holdout concerns. Mike Evans is not injured anymore, but he was. Injuries, he's getting old, so I have an injury concerns with him. Of course, McKinnon, I think I heard just today, there was a setback in his injury, so he's not looking good. And of course, you have Zeke and Gordon, the two holdout guys. I like Kittle. I like Duke Johnson. That's a good pick. Lamar Jackson. I'd rather actually even start him over Goff, depending on the week and whether he's home or away. I like Rivers. But then you have three quarterbacks. You don't really need three quarterbacks. So that's about it. Team's pretty good. I give you a B-, Mr. Luke. Ivy, get over here. All right, so next we have Bobby. Mr. Bobby. Bobby. So, yeah, I do have a lot of concerns. I think Bobby just likes to pick guys that he, remembers their name for some reason. So here we go. Here is Bobby's. I have concerns with OBJ, with his injuries and his soft tissue, being in Cleveland, which is a nice quarterback upgrade. Let's see. I'm concerned with Lev Bell. That offense is not going to be. The offensive line is not as good as the Pittsburgh. So you have OBJ and Jarvis Landry. You have two Browns receivers. I hope you're not starting both of them, Bobby. Let's see. Jimmy G. He might be getting better, but I'm just not high on him as a quarterback. Deshaun Jackson broke his finger. We're not even sure if he's going to start. Mohamed Sanu, like I told you, Bobby, you could have taken him 10 rounds later. He's the third receiver in Atlanta, which Atlanta has a good offense. So he might have, he'll be steady. He'll have a good floor, but he's not anything to be excited about. And then Jalen Richard. Everyone loves Josh Jacobs. So I'm not sure what Jalen Richard's going to be doing. And then Ronald Jones, not loving that Tampa Bay running game. What's going on? What happened? You want Dad to do it? So, and then, so Nick Foles, not a bad pick. Mike Davis, not a bad pick. But, I'm going to give you a C-, Bobby, because of all those concerns. Next is Chuco Chown Cholos, Tony. So, Tony, usually have a good squad, usually have good picks. There was a couple that were pretty good this year, but I do have a lot of concerns. Tariq Cohen, for the main fact that I have David Montgomery. Dalvin Cook, I don't think he can go for 16 games. If they try and make him the workhorse, I think Alexander Madison's definitely going to get in there sooner or later. Njoku, I just don't think he's going to be the tight end that everyone thinks he's going to be. Michael Gallup, Cowboys' second wide receivers rarely ever make the fantasy impact. I think last year, what's his name? I don't even remember his name because who was always second to Dez? Don't remember. It's always the first one that makes an impact. I know he's a rookie. He's been coming up, but Amari Cooper is where everyone's going to be going. Like I said, Sterling Shepard, the offense is just bad in New York. Carlos Hyde, I think they're going to end up cutting him or trading him to Houston. Hunter Renfrow, it's a long shot. Derek Carr, he's not a bad quarterback, but I just don't see him taking that big step forward, especially with Antonio Brown. Chris Thompson, that Washington is just terrible. And also you have a backup D. You don't need a backup D. So Tony, this year you're getting a C, my friend. All right, so next up is BB. So BB, you drafted from home. Sorry you couldn't make it. Sorry you got the poison ivy. But yeah, BB, you always take long shots too. And you did a little bit better this year. I think probably because you had auto draft on for that first kind of round. So you're kind of stuck taking the best player. Which probably worked out a little bit in your favor. I do have injury concerns with Keenan Allen. I'm not sure about Darius Geis, Larry Fitz, Kareem Hunt's not a good pick. He's suspended for like 8 games. Adrian Peterson. You have Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis. So you have the 2 running backs on Washington, which is not a very good team. Golden Tate's also suspended. You have 2 guys that are suspended. BB, maybe I should downgrade you more. Let's see. The people that I like I said, that worked out in your favor, Barkley, Fournette. I like Christian Kirk. That's not a bad pick. And I like Alexander Madison. Like I said earlier, Dalvin Cook's not going to last the whole season. So, BB, I'm going to give you a C+, but I do want to throw in another pitch here for Team BB. Rick Danger, that's a cool name for Luke. Superman Castleblade, I don't really know what that means, but it's something fun and witty. Chuco Town Cholos. We all know that Tony's from El Paso, and that's what you call Chuco Town, right? Or that's the name for it. But Team BB just seems plain and boring and vanilla. So let's give BB a new team name. So BB, if you want to change it, that's great. Think of something cool. But if not, I nominate that the league think up a name for BB. Maybe we could put it on the message board, vote. BB could say, okay, this is the one that I like. Let's, run with that. You can use, people on his team and make up the name like people do with, as witty as you want to be, make the puns. So that's what I vote for Team BB. I will also vote for Team Mike, who is next. Team Hessert has been Team Hessert forever. So let's have Mike, let's get Mike a new name. We can also put it up on the message board, names for Mike and BB. So Mike, let's see. Mike's got a good squad. You drafted well. It seems like you did your research. The only people I don't like, Vance McDonald. He's not going to be the tight end everyone thinks he's going to be. He's not going to take that leap forward. Marvin Jones, I'm not high on. Rashard Penny, just because I have Chris Carson, I don't like. You have a backup kicker, you have a backup defense, and you have a backup tight end in Kyle Rudolph. So you don't need all of those. Those are kind of the pluses for it. But yeah, I like Baker Mayfield. I like Aaron Jones. I like Mark Ingram. I like Michael Thomas. I like Tyreek Hill. I like Mike Williams. I like Darwin Thompson. That's a good pickup right there. I think he's going to end up taking that number 1 spot from Damon Williams sooner or later. So I'm going to give you also a B+. There with BB. All right. Silky J, Mr. Chris. I know how Chris loved to tell everyone that he was projected to be first on the rankings. But I'm not too impressed with the team. I have injury concerns about Kiki QT, Adam Thielen. Just aren't going to be able to stay healthy the whole year. Like I said, Damian Williams. I really think Darwin Thompson is going to take that spot sooner or later. Damian Williams has it. So right now, but I just think sooner or later it's going to be Darwin Thompson. I'm not high on Jared Cook. He's been in the league forever. The only reason why he was good last year was because Derek Carr didn't have anybody to throw to, so he was the only one. And it's pretty crowded in New Orleans. Michael Thomas, Kamara. I just think he's not going to get the target share that he had in Oakland. Let's see. Sony Michel. I just have never been high on the New England backfield. James White is the only one that I would pick because he catches a lot of passes. Sony Michel, He might get some of the goal line work, but they're just so all over the place. It's unpredictable. I never liked New England backs. MVS, so Martez, Valdez, Cantley. I'm betting on Geronimo to be that number 2 just because he's in the slot and Aaron Rodgers likes to throw in the slot. I know Chris said that Aaron Rodgers has talked about MVS like he likes him, but he's also talked about Geronimo Allison. So he's talked about both of them, saying that he likes them. So I don't really think that matters too much. Let's see. Nyheim Hines, another one. He might actually get a little bit more that, Andrew Luck retired, but at the same time, that offense is going to be pretty bad. I mean, they're going to be behind, I think, with Jacoby Brissett, so I think they're going to be throwing a little bit more. So he's not going to get as much work, I don't think. Cole Beasley, he was never, ever relevant. Even when he was this slot receiver for the Cowboys, he was always on the waiver wire. There's no reason to ever draft that guy. I don't know why you did. Jay Ajayi, is he even playing? I'm not sure. Maybe you're banking on Houston picking him up. But yeah. And then Josh Allen, not a bad pick, I guess, the quarterback. So you're getting a C+, my friend. Yeah, I don't know about some of these picks. All right. Kareem Pies, Mr. Sam. Let's see. You got Philip Lindsay. Not high on him. You also have, I think, someone else from Denver, maybe. Maybe not. So you got Philip Lindsay, Julio Jones. He has been the man forever. I just think he might take a step back this year with Curtis Samuel kind of coming up. T.Y. Hilton, again, with Luck going out. T.Y. Hilton's going to take a major step back. Oh, yeah, you have Hilton and Ebron. Both of those guys are taking a major step back that Andrew Luck retired. So I'm not high on either of them. Corey Davis from Tennessee. Tennessee's offense is terrible. So is Deion Lewis, also in Tennessee. That's another guy on a terrible offense. Jordan Howard, I think Miles Sanders is going to take that number 1 role over there in Philadelphia. So those are the picks I don't like. I do like Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Emmanuel Sanders, Justin Jackson. Mark Andrews, I was liking him, but I was hearing something today that he's not really, hasn't been going with the first team over there in Baltimore. So I'm kind of fading him now. So Mr. Sam, you get a C flats. Manny. So this was my argument. Chris said that he was number 1. It said Manny was number 2 on the projections, and I just don't see that at all. You got David Johnson and Joe Mixon, your 2 starting running backs. They're like high up their picks projected, but the offenses are terrible. The offensive lines are terrible. Joe Mixon gets hurt a lot. I just don't see either of them. Maybe top 10, maybe, but at the lower end of top 10, maybe 9 or something like that. So, let's see, where else? You got Amari Cooper. He's had some foot issue. I know he said it. He's had it before, but I just don't trust it. AJ Green. You drafted AJ Green. He has injury concerns for me. He's out at least the first 3 weeks. Delaney Walker. Anybody from Tennessee, I'm just staying away from. Peyton Barber, same with the Tampa Bay running game. Their defense is terrible. They're never going to be ahead. They're never going to have a run script. They're always going to be throwing the ball. Who else? Jack Doyle with Andrew Luck gone. He's on my downside. Randall Cobb, you get the 3rd receiver from the Dallas Cowboys. I just finished talking shit about the 2nd receiver. And Ted Ginn Jr., not a bad pick, but man, also I think you have 3 tight ends. You have Hunter Henry, you have Delaney Walker, and you have Jack Doyle. You just need 1. You can stream 1 on the bye week. Or you can just stream all the time. You don't need to carry 3 on your bench. So, yeah, that's another thing. So, and another thing, Manny, we do need a new name for you. Doug Baldwin does not even play in the league anymore. It is a catchy name, but let's get you something else. So, we'll have nominations for Manny as well for a new name. Goof Troop, that's a strong name. Keep it, Jeff. Don't ever change it. Jeff, you got a strong team. I like Kerryon Johnson, Kamara, Godwin. I think Mike Evans is going to be fading. Like I said, they're going to be throwing a lot in Tampa Bay. D.D. Westbrook's a good pick. Austin Eckler's a good pick, especially with Melvin Gordon probably not going to play for at least half of the year. C.J. Anderson, I love the fact that you got your handcuff with Kerryon Johnson. That's a smart play. So those are your picks that I like. Dante Pettis, I'm not happy. Gio Bernard is terrible, especially in that offense. Royce Freeman, he might do okay. Kalen Ballage is garbage in that offense. unless they trade Kenyon Drake, which is possible. But you got a good squad. A minus, Mr. Jeff. All right, so Shay. It was even you and your buddy helping you out, and still. You got a lot of shady picks. Josh Jacobs, he's going to be okay, but they're going to throw a lot. They're going to be behind a lot. Todd Gurley, I'm not high on him. I'm sure he's probably going to get injured sooner or later. You have Josh Jacobs and Antonio Brown, so two people on the same offense. Sometimes that works, but just not on an offense like Oakland. Let's see. Jason Witten, he's not going to be relevant. He wasn't relevant whenever he was unretired 2 years ago. Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill's and Travis Kelce are the number 1 and number 2. Sammy Watkins is number 3. And maybe even number 4. Damien Williams and Darwin Thompson are catching passes. LaShawn McCoy hasn't been good for at least 5-6 years. Kenny Stills, Miami, who's going to be throwing? Maybe if Fitzpatrick gets hot, but I doubt it. Jordan Reed has like 10 concussions. In Washington, not good. Let's see. I like Devin Singletary. I like McCole Hardman. But you have 3 quarterbacks. You have Drew Brees. You have Kyler Murray. And then you have Daniel Jones. You don't need all 3. If you're going to go take a flyer on Daniel Jones, you could probably pick him up on waivers. You don't need to draft him. You can pick him up later. So, Mr. Simpson, I'm giving you a C minus. All right, 7th, Evans, Scotty boy. You know, Scotty, I've never seen your face. It's kind of weird. I think about that every time. I always invite you to the draft. And you're like, draft from home. I was like, I don't even know what this guy looks like. And I'm sitting here talking shit on the weekly. Oh, well. Here we go, Scotty. Well, you also have 3 quarterbacks. Dak Prescott. Who else you got? Jimmy G. And Kirk Cousins. You don't need all 3 of those. Jimmy G could probably stream. You don't have a bad team, though. Kenny Golladay, I'm not high on. I just don't think that either of those receivers in Detroit is that good. Darrell Henderson, I like Malcolm Brown better. I drafted him. I think he's going to be the clear-cut handcuff to Todd Gurley whenever he goes down. Let's see. Trey Boo Burton. He was a bust last year. Everyone thought he was going to be awesome at tight end. He wasn't, so I'm not counting on him to do too much. Marquise Brown, again, not high on him in that offense. I think the other receiver is going to get more targets. Let's see. I do like Dak Prescott, James Conner, Marlon Mack. I think he's going to have a little bit more upside. You know, now that Andrew Luck is gone, they're probably going to run a little bit more, but they're still going to be behind a lot. Let's see. I like Stephon Diggs. Latavius Murray's a good pick. N'Keal Harry. So I'm giving you a B+, Mr. Scotty. And last of all is Mr. Jacob Pais, the best team of all. So I know I'm at the bottom of the projections, but I mean, I gotta love my squad. I'm stacked at running back. I might be a little weak at wide receiver, but if my bench wide receiver guys pay off, I mean, I'm golden. If Moncrief's a number 2, I mean, Curtis Samuel's a number 2. They could both. Well, at least Curtis Samuel could easily take over the number 1 spot. So could Anthony Miller from, who is it? Allen Robinson in Chicago. But I mean, I've got Devonta Freeman. The offensive line is stacked. Chris Carson. They're going to run the ball a ton. That's going to be their script. That's all they're going to want to do is run the ball. Robbie Anderson. He's kind of a flyer. I might actually probably start Curtis Samuel that first week. I'm not sure. But Devonta Adams. I mean, he's top tier wide receiver from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's just blue chip, golden. O.J. Howard, I have Jameis Winston and O.J. Howard. I'm pairing them up. Like I said, they're going to be throwing a lot. So that's my bet is O.J. Howard's going to catch a lot of passes for Tampa Bay. David Montgomery, I got him in like the 7th or 8th round. It was nuts. He's going to tear it up in Chicago. Tevin Coleman, starting running back for the 49ers. Curtis Samuel, Dante Moncrief, Tony Pollard. So Zeke holds out at least half the season, which I'm sure he'll do. Tony Pollard's the number 1 running back. So I'm stacked at running back. I got Justice Hill and then Malcolm Brown. And then Sam Darnold's my backup quarterback. But those are all awesome handcuffs. I'll probably be doing some trading. Because, like I said, I'm just stacked to running back. But I'm happy with my team. I probably could just keep them on the bench and just keep those points there, and I'll be fine. But those are the grades. A+ for me. Scotty gets a B+. Shay gets a C-. Goof gets an A-. Manny gets a C-. Sam gets a C+. Chris gets a C+. Mike gets a B+. BB gets a B+. Tony gets a C. Bobby gets a C-. And Luke gets a B-. There are your grades. There's your info. First video of the year. I'll see you assholes on the digital field.